Let's go. That's great. And she's going to break down the best Florida has to offer in college rankings. Heather, you had an article on ESPN.com, and it was called 32 teams can make the college football playoff based on the All-State playoff predictor, and Miami was at number 8. What is the biggest X factor in Miami's title hopes?
Their defense. When you look at the Canes last year and their chase for the ACC championship game, it wasn't the offense with Cam Ward that was a problem. It was one of the best in the country. It was the defense that held them back, particularly the secondary. So if Miami can make improvements on that side of the ball, they have a new defensive coordinator in Corey Heatherman. They went into the transfer portal heavily, particularly in the secondary. They have about 5 starters coming back on that side of the ball overall. But if they can really shore up that defense, particularly in the secondary, you would think that Carson Beck, the transfer from Georgia at quarterback, could have enough weapons around him in terms of the offense, and they can have one of their most complete teams that they've had under Mario Cristobal.
Yeah, I remember last year, everyone just continued to hawk at that defensive secondary because they were in some shootouts. That Miami team could play some ball, but that defense just let up a bunch of points. But meanwhile, the University of Florida, they came in at number 25 on the list. What do the Gators need to have happen so they can end up in the playoff conversation?
They need to keep DJ Lagway, their quarterback, healthy. And so far, that's not going the right direction. They started practice on Wednesday, and Lagway was in a boot with a strained calf. But a school spokesman told me just minutes ago that Lagway is out of the boot. He's trending in the right direction. He's trending positively. He's still day-to-day, though. But Florida has the most difficult schedule in the country. And if they're going to survive that, compete for the SEC and one of those at-large bids in the college football playoff, Lagway's health is of the utmost importance. Remember, he was 6-1 as a starter last year. I had the chance to talk to him at SEC Media Days, and he talked about his durability and said it wasn't going to be a problem, and yet he started out his summer practices on the sidelines.
One thing we know about him, when he does play, he's such a dynamic player. Just got to be able to stay on the field. What do they like to say in sports? The best ability is availability. We appreciate that you were available, Heather, for this last-minute show. Thank you.
All right, let's get to our top sports moments in Florida in honor of our 50 states in 50 days, shall we, Scooby? Let's start all the way back to 1984, Orange Bowl, Nebraska versus Miami. Turner Gill runs the triple option.
Oh, yeah.
Pitches it to Jeff Smith, who takes it the rest of the way for the score. 31-30 with under a minute to go. Nebraska head coach Tom Osborne famously decides to go for the win. 2-point conversion. Gill with the pass to Smith, but it's broken up by the Hurricane defense. Miami wins it in thrilling fashion.
Let's stay in 1984, Miami versus Boston College. It's called Miracle in Miami. Doug Flutie with the 48-yard heave. Hail Mary. Hits Gerald Phelan, also known as the Hail Flutie, as the Eagles won 47-45.
All right, 1997 World Series Game 7, Marlins, Indians, bases loaded. Edgar Renteria lines it to single center for the walk. Off the win, the World Series 3-2. Marlins would go on to win it. Another championship in 2003 as well.
How about 1988? Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins the Daytona 500. This would be his first and only Daytona 500 win in his 19th try. Dale Earnhardt, getting high fives from his pit row.
As he should. All right, 2009 BCS Championship, Florida, Oklahoma. Tim Tebow with the jump pass to find David Nelson to clinch the championship for the Gators. They would win it 24-14.
Staying in 2009, Super Bowl 43, Steelers, Cardinals, held in Tampa, Florida. Ben Roethlisberger with the game-winning throw. Watch the toe tap by Santonio Holmes. I mean, this was like a ballerina type of move, the way he got those two feet in there. Steelers would win 27-23.
All right, 2012, LeBron James with his first career NBA championship with the Heat. The King and the Heat defeated the Thunder in 5 games, and James was named NBA Finals MVP. He averaged 28.6 points, 10.2 rebounds, and 7.4 assists, and he would continue that reign. Scooby?
He most definitely would. 2025, UConn beat South Carolina in the NCAA Women's Championship. More specifically, Paige Beckers wins her lone championship at UConn. Huskies won big, 82-59. She had 17 points and 6 rebounds. She's still cooking in the dub. She's a hooper.
All right, our final top sports moment in Florida. The Florida Panthers winning back-to-back Stanley Cups. In 2024, they defeated the Edmonton Oilers in 7 games, earning the first championship in their 30-year history. And then in 2025, they would repeat as champions. Epic. Our 50 states in 50 days is in Florida today, obviously. Now, before Randy and Gary take it away at the Ocho, we're going to break down all those teams. Well, we just showed you all those teams in the Sunshine State, but we're going to show you the NFL teams of the Sunshine State. Bill Barnwell is back with us, and Florida is home to 3 NFL teams, the Dolphins, Bucks, and the Jags. And Bill, what is the biggest storyline you are following heading into the season? So let's start with the Dolphins.
Okay, the Dolphins have to get their run game going. We talk so much about Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, but the difference when this offense is great is the run game. Go back to 2023, they had 9 runs of 30 yards or more, the most of any team in the National Football League. Last year, just 4 of those runs. The running backs went from first in the NFL in rush yards over expectation in 2023 to last a year ago. It's Devin Achan's backfield right now. This is his opportunity to get the run game going, more big plays, take some of the pressure off of Tagovailoa and that offensive line. In Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers, of course, we know all about the offense. I'm looking towards the defensive line. Guys like Kalisha Kancey, Yaya Diaby, Logan Hall, they've all flashed so far in their career, all 26 and under. Can one of those guys take the lead? And then you bring in the veteran in Hassan Reddick, a guy who was kind of stuck in the Jets vortex last year, but 4 consecutive seasons with 10 or more sacks before that point. That pass rush gets going, that's a more complete team. And then move over to Jacksonville, and of course the Travis Hunter story is the biggest story in Jacksonville. But to me, it's not just about how often he plays, but what the Jags do when he does play on the defensive side of the football. Are they going to spot him in certain kinds of coverages? Is he only going to be in the slot? Is he going to be outside? Is he going to be only playing man, only playing zone? Are they going to try more of their exotic coverages with him in the mix? Because if teams get tendencies for when the Jags do use Travis Hunter, if they don't change stuff from week to week, they're going to be able to exploit that even if Travis Hunter is a great football player. So there's a lot on that young man's shoulders on offense and defense. But if the Jaguars can do the most to get him get him in the right spots, that's going to be a really exciting situation.
He's an exciting player indeed. Bill, thank you so much.